I'm sure some of you have noticed that I had already uploaded this video before, and that now it's not here. That's because the original review got a copyright strike, so I've made some changes to the video, and by that I mean I've made it just one panel for pretty much the whole thing. So expect that for pretty much all future Jujutsu reviews, potentially all future videos. We'll see what happens. But I know a lot of you guys like having more panels in the videos. I like putting more panels in the videos, but if it's going to jeopardize the future of the channel to do that, then I'm not going to bother. So, sorry for any disappointment you might feel. I hope you understand. So now we will return to your regularly scheduled Jujutsu review. See you around. Take care. Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 148. It's been a long 3 weeks and it's good to finally be back. So, before I get into this week's review, I of course have to mention my subscriber goal for 2021, hitting 5,000 by the end of the year. So if you're already a fan of my videos and you're not subscribed, you might as well time to reach that goal. I know in the past some people have not realized they aren't subscribed, and there's this weird thing I've heard of where sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe you without telling you. So if you think you're subscribed, but you're not sure, you should probably check because you may not be. The other thing is my Patreon. If you want to help support me and the channel directly and get access to some solo leveling and omniscient reader content, you can always become a patron. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. With that out of the way, let's get on with the review. This is an excellent chapter. This was worth waiting 3 weeks for. So we've finally been getting that Maki-centric chapter that we've been waiting a while for, and it does not disappoint. So it turns out the Zenin clan is way worse than we'd thought, but we'll get into that. So we have the reappearance of Naoya as Maki returns to the Zenin clan, and he's being an asshole as usual, and they're pretty much having the exact interaction that a lot of people had expected, which is him being like, damn, your looks were pretty much the only thing you had going for you, and now those are gone, so I guess you're literally worthless now. This is like the exact interaction that a lot of people have been predicting they would have, because, of course. But Maki actually gets like a good quip back at him, saying that she's surprised that he can tell women apart by their faces because she thought he only looked at their asses, which is pretty good. That's a good one. But Maki is here, as we know, to get the cursed tools out of the Zenin warehouse, and she encounters multiple obstacles on the way to this. The first one is getting berated by Naoya, and the second one is getting berated by her mom. I don't think we get a name drop for her, but I feel like it's pretty clear that this person is Maki's mother, and she is another terrible parent. She's kind of like a Mai and asking, why are you always like this? Why do you insist on being so stubborn and doing things your own way and not just dealing with things the way they are? I don't know what this is called, but I'm pretty sure this is a fairly typical behavior for like abuse victims. I don't know if this is some kind of variation of Stockholm Syndrome, but you know, when people are forced to live in shitty conditions, they kind of want everyone else who's there to, you know, stay living that way as well. Alternatively, it's also possible that since her daughter is being disobedient, that could lead to punishment for her as well. But in addition, she probably doesn't want anything to happen to Maki, I guess, because, you know, she's still her mom. But I feel like there's a layer of selfishness to it, and that she says in like a backhanded way that she's never been proud of Maki. For once in my life, make me feel proud. So yeah, Maki's mom, fuck you, you're terrible. Now we get a little bit of a flashback here of pretty much Maki telling Megumi that he's the new head of the Zenin clan and why he needs to accept this position and how it'll be useful. We actually see Maki in casual wear, which actually we haven't really seen most people in casual wear in a bit. But nice look for Maki. It's interesting seeing her with her new, you know, look in a different outfit. But she's pretty much convincing him that he has to accept this new position as the head of the clan because, well, you get a shitload of resources and information as the head of one of the clans. So it's kind of a no-brainer. But Megumi doesn't really want anything to do with it because, I mean, he's an outsider pretty much. I mean, yeah, he's technically a member of the Zenin clan, but he's never been a part of it. He's never interacted with them that much, probably other than Maki and Mai, I guess. Like, he never lived with them. He was never a live-in member of the Zenin clan. He doesn't have their last name. So for him, it's kind of like being told, go be in charge of this family of strangers now. Which is pretty understandable that he wouldn't want anything to do with that, especially considering Megumi's personality. And when Megumi asks her, why don't you do it? Which is a good question. A lot of people have been like, hey, Maki wants to be head of the Zenin clan. Doesn't Megumi becoming the head, kind of get in the way of that a bit? But Maki says that she's still not good enough to be head of the Zenin clan. And that if she were in charge, she wouldn't be able to do anything for Mai yet. There wouldn't be a place for Mai that she could create if she became the head of the clan. Which is fair, because Maki is not as strong as she could be yet, so she definitely wouldn't have the kind of pull needed to be able to fundamentally change the way the Zenin clan works and make it a good place for Mai to be a part of. So that's why Megumi agrees, and he gives her the keys and permission to enter the Zenin warehouse. Well, I guess he gives her the permission. I assume she gets the keys in this place where she goes to see Naoya, because why would Megumi have the keys? But yeah, so thanks to his permission, she goes to the warehouse to find no cursed tools, actually, and instead, someone waiting to see her. That somebody is her father, Ogi Zenin, who cleared out all of the cursed tools from the warehouse in preparation for Maki's arrival. And we find out that behind him is a injured Mai, who seemingly Ogi is responsible for injuring. And this is where we find out that the three Zenins that were around after Naobito died have been doing a little bit of plotting. Well, Junichi and Ogi were doing their own thing, which I think Naoya had a feeling about back when he got introduced. Actually, I just thought of that. Was that woman with him Maki's mom? I have to check that again, actually. Actually, let me check that right now. She is! Holy shit! Cool! So, yeah. Ogi and Junichi have had their own plan going on, because they think Naoya is too much of a hot-headed idiot, and that him going out to try and kill Megumi on his own is a very stupid idea. Because Megumi has good relations with both the Gojo and the Kamo clan, so him becoming the head is actually pretty good for their relation with the other clans. It can help them get higher standing. But going out and murdering him for no reason would be not good for that reputation, and it could be a serious hit in the upcoming power struggle among the clans and the various forces within the Jujutsu world that is definitely coming now that Gojo is out of the picture. So they decided that they needed to take a smarter approach to this, which is finding good reason to get rid of Megumi. And they were like, oh shit, hey, didn't Jujutsu headquarters say that it's a crime to free Satoru Gojo from the prison realm? Well, isn't Megumi Fushiguro and his friends planning to free Satoru Gojo from the prison realm? Well, shit, we can just execute Megumi, Maki, and Mai for trying to free Satoru Gojo. And the person that will be responsible for executing Maki and Mai will be none other than their father, Ogi Zenin. And Naoya is like, oh shit, that's pretty good. I'm sure if he killed his own daughter, if he showed that he was capable of doing that, that'd give him a lot of credibility, because it would show how dedicated he is to the clan and, ensuring their well-being and the following of Jujutsu law and all that jazz. And he asks, is Ogi going to be fine doing that? I mean, murdering his own kid and all. And Junichi says Ogi was actually the person that proposed this idea, so remember when Toji was the worst dad in the Zenin clan? Good times, good times. It's really easy to understand why he became such a fucked up person, because the family he was raised in was more fucked up than he was. I mean, really, just being a deadbeat whose morals are based on money. Honestly, way better than the shit going on here. Good lord. So, we get into some fighting this chapter, and I don't know what it is, but the paneling, shot composition, all that stuff in this chapter, oh my god, it's so fucking good. There's one panel that's it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but upon further thought, I understand what it is. So yeah, Ogi also knows Falling Blossom Emotion. We know Falling Blossom Emotion is pretty much the Zenin exclusive version of Simple Domain, though it works differently. And it seems you can use it in pretty much the same way that Miwa does, is like it's a zone of attack, where if you enter into his range, he automatically attacks you. So it's an EI match. We're going to see who can quick draw faster. And this is where we get the reveal of Maki's new curse tool. It's Kumaya Juzo's masterpiece that she apparently got from his workshop. It's called the Keel, as in like the keel of a ship. And this thing absorbs the impact of cursed energy on the blade and dispels it at the user's will, which is a curse technique that I had an idea for. I was thinking that'd be a pretty useful technique to be able to, absorb cursed energy from attacks and redirect it. It'd be like kinetic energy manipulation, but with cursed energy. But apparently, Juzo thought of that before I did, and he made a sword out of it. I can't tell what this is made out of, but it's kind of gnarly looking. And Maki is going to use this to get into a sword fight with her father. And it's a pretty good sword fight, albeit it's just an EI match so far. But there's some really good speed paneling here. Maki, this is a really good exchange. So Ogi asks her if she knows why his brother was chosen to be head of the clan over him. And she asks, is it because you're a piece of shit who doesn't mind killing his own children? Which is, Maki had a lot of really good comebacks this chapter. I missed Maki. We love Maki. So stubborn and cheeky. Big fan. Also, apparently this costume, this new outfit she has doesn't have sleeves, which is like, it gets better, apparently. Yeah, so they have an EI match. Maki gets the upper hand for a second and breaks Ogi's sword, and manages to nick his cheek. However, there is this panel, which I initially couldn't tell what I was looking at. I'm like, is that intestines or something? And something moving through it? At first I was just like, what the fuck is this? But, upon further observation and seeing other people talking about the chapter, that's someone's intestines getting messed up. Maki's stomach has been cut open in this next panel. Yeah, so, several things to unpack here. For starters, Maki's stomach and her face has been cut open. Fortunately, it's the side that's already bandaged up, but, oh god. Listen, if that eye wasn't fucked before, it probably is now. So, I hope you guys are ready for permanent eye patch Maki. I've kind of already accepted it at this point. But yeah, stomach wound, like cutting into the intestines here. Sheesh, not fucking good. Now I've seen some people that are like, oh my god, did they just kill Maki? I saw like a YouTube video saying that Maki gets killed in this chapter. Like it was in the title, and I'm like, guys, you are overreacting way too hard to this. Fortunately, since this is the speed scans, they kind of include like the end of chapter comment things that you don't get in the Viz scans, which says, Mortal Kombat between kinsmen, how will it end? As in, it's not over. Maki was dead, it would be over. So, it's going to continue next chapter. And also, are you shitting me? Look how buff Maki's arms are. We've never seen this before. We know Maki is really strong, but we didn't know if it was like that anime thing where like someone who looks normal is really strong. No, Maki is fucking buff. Gets better with every chapter, I tell you. But yeah, if you know the dumb anime thing Like, oh, my stomach's been cut open. I will just flex to keep my intestines from falling out. See? It's that easy. If there's literally any character in this series that would do that, it would be Maki. Other contenders being Todo, Yuji. Maybe Junichi could do that. He seems pretty buff. But yeah, Maki's the type of character where it's like, oh, my fucking stomach's been cut open. Not an issue. I'll just flex. It'll be fine. The other thing is we see what is maybe Ogi's technique, and that after his sword was broken, he just kind of remade the blade out of cursed energy. I'm not sure if this is just cursed energy manipulation or if this is a cursed technique. So maybe this is another Zenin clan technique. It's possible that this is some kind of variation of creation. I didn't mean to rhyme there. But yeah, it would probably make sense if Mai got creation or something like what Ogi had from him. Now this is different from creation because it's adding on to an existing object. And it doesn't appear to be completely physical. It's still like kind of transparent. Looks like it's made out of energy. It's still able to cut, so I guess it's still physical in some manner. So what is this exactly? Is this just cursed energy manipulation, or is this actually a technique of his? If so, it seems like Maki didn't know it was his technique. But that's pretty interesting. I do like the techniques of the Zenin clan, but I want them to have more than 2. I want there to be more than just 10 shadows and projection sorcery. I like both of those, but I like a little variety. I like getting introduced to some new stuff. That's why I hope the Camo clan has more than just blood manipulation, even though, once again, blood manipulation is really cool. So yeah, hoping we're going to get an explanation next chapter about what exactly this thing Ogi is doing, what it is. Last thing, a detail I had just noticed upon rereading the chapter before doing this review. It's kind of hard to tell because Ogi has a lot of wrinkles on his face, but it looks like he's crying at the end of this chapter. And I wonder why. Because it was literally his idea to kill Maki and Mai. So, what's the deal here? Maybe he still has some kind of parental feelings for her. She is his daughter after all. But terrible. And he even says, the reason I couldn't become head of the clan was because you two were nothing but failures. Remember when Toji was the worst dad in the Zenin family? Yeah. God, these guys are all terrible. I can see why Maki hates these people so much. Like, it's more than just Naoya. Like, Naobito was kind of an asshole. But these guys, holy shit. Oh my god. Like, Junichi is the least terrible out of these people. And he's just like a normal, okay with murdering fellow family members asshole. That's the standard here. Like, good god. Like, Toji, deadbeat, no regard for other people's lives, just would literally kill a teenage girl for money. Naoya, sexist, also totally cool with murdering family members. Naobito, he's kind of an asshole. Actually, seemingly Naobito is one of the better members of the Zenin clan. Ogi, totally cool with murdering his children. Junichi, cool with murdering fellow family members. Mai, huge bitch to Maki. So actually, it would seem that Mai, Naobito, and Toji are on the better end of the spectrum when it comes to the Zenin clan members. With, Maki being the best, of course. But what's going to happen next chapter? Good question. Maki is in a pretty rough spot here. Also, her glasses are cut off now, so she should not be able to see what Ogi is doing if we're going to have a level of consistency here. So that's bad. What's going to happen? So both Maki and Mai are injured now. Are we going to have a sister team-up? Possibly. I've seen some people suggesting that Mai could figure out how to do reverse curse technique. Seems possible. It doesn't seem like you need to have like a bunch of cursed energy to do it. I don't think Shoko's ever been described as someone with like a particularly huge amount of cursed energy. Maybe Mai will figure out some kind of new application of creation to like heal people or something. That'd be nuts. But it's probably going to take both of them to beat Ogi here, because Ogi's pretty strong. He's a grade 1. We're going to see how well Maki stacks up against a probably higher, well, special grade 1 is not like a power ranking thing, it's an honorary thing. But in the Zenin clan, strength and techniques is everything, so if you're a special grade 1 in the Zenin clan, you're definitely stronger than your average grade 1. But yeah, this is pretty much Maki fighting against the standard bearer for a strong Jujutsu sorcerer, who is also her dad. So this is her overcoming multiple things at the same time. Her shitty family, and the way the Jujutsu Society works. So we'll see what happens for her next chapter, I guess. I do think she and probably Mai are going to pull through. I don't know if she's going to kill Ogi. She may just humiliate him or something. Maybe cut his hand off. I don't know. That would suck for a swordsman. But we will just have to find out next time. So, if you enjoyed this review, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reactions and reviews every week we get a chapter. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Kengan Omega, Black Clover, and Kaiju number 8, I do videos on those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to that down in the description. Since it's the end of the video, it's time to give a shout out to some of my wonderful patrons, and the recipients of the shout out today will be Chris Redfield, Scratch23, Moonshadow935, and Solo Warrior. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. And if you too want to get a shout out at the end of videos or access to some solo leveling and omniscient reader content, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.